Not gonna lie, I didn't see that coming. Oregon with the reverse sweep over New Mexico. Heartbreak there for the Lobos. But we've got a really interesting affair right here, and I'm just gonna go out there here, Rome, real quickly. The fact that neither of these two teams have a number next to their name is absolutely criminal. LA Tech Esports now going up against Nicholls State in the Colonel Esports program. My whole shift with me, Rome. This is going to be a really fun one. We got a lot of implications as far as what this matchup could mean for the top cut coming out of the Midwest Pool B.
I mean, you couldn't have said it better yourself. I mean, the fact that these two teams are coming into this unranked, when I saw it on the schedule and I'm like, oh, I get to cast Louisiana Tech and Colonel Esports. Awesome. Let me go ahead and see what they're ranked this week. I went and checked the rankings and I was like, they're not anywhere. What? This is madness. Absolutely absurd. I can tell this match that we are about to get is going to be absolutely insane. I mean, you talked about it. There is a lot on the line, but let's go ahead and bring up the head-to-head between these two squads and check them out, because when we say they are even, ladies and gentlemen, they are pretty freaking close. My goodness.
It's literally dead even. LA Tech sitting at a 9-2 overall record, but they did not play against the Drury Panthers, which is one of those forfeit losses. Their only actual loss that they had was versus the very good Southern Illinois Edwardsville team. And even in that process, outside of that loss, which was an 0-3 loss, just to say what it is, they did lose a hard point to Mississippi State in what ended up being a 3-1 win for them. On the other side, for Nicholls State, 9-1 overall record. Their only loss currently also to Southern Illinois, but they were tested by Louisiana State, LSU, as well as both what we got out of that matchup that we had versus Edwardsville. So that's kind of where you're at, and honestly speaking, I think you're 100% correct. This is about to be a super tight affair between these two squads.
Big time. Last week, if you were here with us, we got to watch Nicholls State. They won in 3-1 fashion, in surprising fashion to a lot of people. And now coming into this one with a 9-1 record, they've actually secured themselves the top 3 guaranteed. So they know that they are going to be moving on no matter what. They don't have to worry about it. But on the other side, Louisiana Tech, if they lose today and go 9-3, and then Mississippi State is somehow able to beat the undefeated SIUE Esports squad that's currently 10-0, then Mississippi State would squeak on by and get on in. So I'm giving Mississippi State, they got about a 25% chance to get on into this one.
Yeah, it's a tough prospect to go into the last matchup of your first split and have to play up against one of the top 5 teams in the CCL who haven't dropped a map. Yeah, that's terrifying. But we take a look at this LA Tech Esports squad. They were great, really, over the course of the last year and a half or so. Sampy, Sand, Will, Holtroll, all the full-man roster, and I think a lot of people are looking at Will and Holtroll to kind of continue on the momentum that this LA Tech team had last year and in even moments past that when it comes down to other CCL tournaments that we've seen.
Big time. I mean, as you stated, only one true loss to this squad so far this year. And, that loss is, to a team that, guess what, they're undefeated. So, I mean, really, coming into this one, sky's the limit for this roster and what they're going to be able to do today. I mean, I'm extremely excited. As you said, what exactly is this squad going to be able to do? My eyes are on Holtroll today. It's going to be a fun one. But let's go ahead and check out the other side, Colonel Esports, because this squad right here, if you watched them last week, you know that Dreco, C-Mac, Wajan, and Hunter, they've got ice in their veins.
Now they're coming out with some spice on top of that ice. Not even meaning to put the rhyming into play, but Dreco and C-Mac had some words for the top 25 poll that came out today, and I agree with them. The whole idea of comparing the CCL standings versus the CXP ones, I get it. You're trying to get more of a sample size, but I will stand on this podium that they played great fundamental Call of Duty last week when we had a chance to cast these guys. I thought all of the decisions they were making were largely correct. Yeah, there were a couple of slip-ups here or there, but what we saw out of them I thought was better than most of the caliber of what we had leading into that matchup. That was the third match that I think we had, and the first two were supposed to be better in the overall scheme of 2 top 25 teams playing up against each other. I thought Nicholls State played the best COD of the day.
As you stated, this squad, they're extremely fundamental, extremely coordinated. They understand how to win maps. And, speaking of maps, let's go ahead and check it out. We like to talk about fundamentals, but we can throw that out the window. We're heading to the cage. Map 1, we're going to Bow Cage. It's going to be good. But gosh, Bow Cage doesn't matter. It's going to be madness. I'm ready for it.
The thing about it, too, is, as much as I think that this map is starting to turn into let's just throw something at the wall and see what sticks, we're getting to a point where we're really starting to see teams identify and understand where the winnable, and I would say maybe even more importantly, the unwinnable moments are on this map. You know, if we've got 20 seconds left and we're spawning out in Bufu, forget the time. Let's go on to next. Let's try to play this map a little bit more strategically. I think we're starting to see a better awareness on what those moments are and what decisions need to be made because of it. Of course, we still expect to see MP40s galore all over the place. And yes, I think that slaying department, you know, will definitely dictate at least some advantage here or there. But we've seen teams like New York in the past come out, play this map, and get outslayed, but still win. So I think looking at decision-making moments is where I'm kind of keeping my eyes for both these two teams.
Okay. Well, you know, coming down to this one, I mean, listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm looking at Nichols, man. I think that Nichols, they've got a very good shot at winning this one, man, just because of the momentum that they carried in from last week. I mean, and they understand what it's like to be on the main stage from last week to this week. They're going to be extremely comfortable right here today. They're going to understand that they're going to want to get the chat on their side. They want to get the ball rolling early. And I mean, we can jump right into predictions, but I'm going to take Nickel State in this one, man. I got to be honest.
All right. It's a tough one to predict because I think for LA Tech, you know, I don't know how much the panel has taken into accrue kind of the map count that they've provided going into this series. Kind of why are they not in the top 25? Like, why are they still not in the top 25? Their only other real loss outside SIU was, again, the Drury Panthers forfeit loss. They didn't play that day. So they're really not 9-2 in my book. Like, they've had one loss, and to be fair, it was like a 250 to 125, a 6-2, and then a 3-0, but that was like in week 2. So, you know, playing up against the SIU Edwardsville team, you assume that you're going to lose that early on with a team that is that good. But the progress, that's what I'm looking for here, because I won't lie to you. Sorry, New Mexico, I don't mean to put salt in the wound, but you get reversed up by Oregon, you're not a top 25 team. Both of these two teams should be there. Woo. I'm hoping we get a barn burner. Don't make me look stupid, Nickel State and LA Tech. That's all I'm saying.
Strong words coming out of Holdshift. You don't get that unless he's got some hope in your squads, and I've got a lot of hope in both of them as well. I mean, Louisiana Tech coming into this one, I mean, they're essentially 10-1, let's be honest, but hey, essentially doesn't matter. They're still potentially not going to be making it out of this group, so they definitely want to secure themselves with a win right here as we're going to be kicking things off into Bokich.
Here we go. First hard point. Look at the split from Nickel State. This is actually a really cool look. A little 2-2 split up. Holtroll up top has been aware that this could be a play, so they'll just cut back through barn, and as they do, a 4-man feed without really anybody shooting back. Colonel Esports, solid start here in the first.
Okay. You pointed it out. They did a 2-2 split, and that was a perfectly executed pinch. We talked about how last week, this Nickel State squad, they looked coordinated, they looked precise, and that is a perfect example of it right there on P1 to get control.
Will's able to find one elimination. That's actually enough for him to get into the hard point and then do a little bit more. 2-2 for him as he eventually falls, but not bad here for LA Tech to kind of counter back against that initial split from Nichols. But the thing about it is, Nickel State have done everything you wanted to do. Not only do you get significant time, quote unquote, here in the first, but you put so much pressure on the Bulldogs that they never actually had a threat to flip these spawns around as the second hard point starts to open. LA Tech trying to make their way through barn, and they get shut down.
And it looks like it is going to be Nickel State that are going to be getting the rotations into P2. Then Louisiana Tech trying to break this one through. Hunter going to be the lone man trying to stop this bleeding, but no, Louisiana Tech, they are going to be getting control. You can see the players from Colonel Esports trying to go around, hit these flanks, try to get control of these spawns, but it's going to be Holtroll standing true. He said that he was the player to look out for, and right now, he's got the most important job. He's got to be taking out this player in the back, and he's going to be able to do that to keep these spawns for this Louisiana Tech squad, and this is going to be great for them as this Colonel Esports squad is looking to break in.
Absolutely flawless play from LA Tech, getting around the back, forcing a split spawn situation, reading it, getting full control over the P2 spawns. That leads to not just a break, but also likely the scrap time. Dreco wants to give this one more go, though, and as a couple of nades will connect, he decides it's go time. He's playing this with C-Mac off to his left. They know the last player's the backside of Tank. This is Seasoned who's back here, but goodness, Seasoned was able to soak up an extra maybe 8 seconds more than I think either of us would have thought possible. So the Bulldogs really good to the second hard point for a break and a flip, and now we turn over to the Colonel Esports perspective as they try to set up a hold here at 3.
Big time. I mean, Proper spoke on it in the last series. You know, out of all the hills on this map, that P2, it can turn into a money hill if you understand how to hold it. And I mean, Louisiana Tech, they were able to get an extreme amount of good time on that hill. Oh, big kill. It is going to be coming outside from Will onto C-Mac. Now Hunter just trying to lock this one down for Colonel. They're going to be able to get a nice amount of points right here, but the break is going to be coming in. The trades are going to be coming out, but nobody is going to be able to fully secure this one. It looks like the trade's finally going to be going the way of Louisiana Tech. Wasion at the door, not able to make anything happen. Sand coming through, and he's finally going to get control for Louisiana. Beautiful hold out of them, and now it's all going to be up to Sand to hold this one out, as they're going to be going for these rotations out next.
Yeah, it's a really interesting play. It's number 7 in Sampy, who was really never actually a part of the hardpoint play. He's in the very top side of the map, kind of watching the cross, and even though he wasn't really a part of the actual play for Hill Time, he did kind of at least make sure that Colonel Esports continued to be spawning in the back, kind of almost in trapped form, especially now that we're here at the barn, and LA Tech has given themselves a little bit of breathing room through the front. Ultra making a play around the backside, looking for a bit of a pinch here, but you may be a little bit too late. Nickel State have already found 3 eliminations. Holtro, the last remaining Bulldog, and as he gets completely caught up from behind, it's eventually Wasion who gets the final kill, and Nickel State will salvage this 4th hardpoint early on.
Nickel State able to get some time right here. I mean, Louisiana Tech, we talked about it, that P2, that time that they were able to acquire, it's definitely helping them out right here because not a lot of points have been going anyway until we've gotten to this barn. And finally, Nickel State, they might be able to bring this one back as C-Mac is going off right now. He's on a 3 streak. This is big for this squad. If he can end up getting streaks, this could be massive.
But shut down immediately when asked upon. We'll able to eliminate the potential streaks that you mentioned, but trades back and forth amounts to the Colonels essentially full scrap time, and they've got a 50-50 rotation to get into the river hardpoint first. The thing about this is the Bulldogs have a full surround up top and down low of this hill. C-Mac trying to do something special, but could only find one of what needed to be at least 2, and I say at least very selectively as LA Tech continues to spawn in, and with that, the Bulldogs a chance to get some time.
I mean, so far through this first full rotation, we're seeing exactly what we're expecting. Not only just a tie game, 84-84, but we're seeing Colonel Esports have a solid break, a coordinated break. Then we're seeing Louisiana Tech get right back in the game just because they have solid gameplay. And then at the end, Colonel Esports able to figure things out, get right back in this, and bring us back to a tie game. I mean, these squads are giving us the show that we expected.
Absolutely the case. I mean, it's been, I won't even say, you know, in any point, a convincing affair. Like you mentioned, yeah, there were some moments through the second hard point. There's a moment here, by the way, for LA Tech as they completely shut down any further hits towards 5, but the Colonels have definitely found a lot of room to work with in their own right. So we get through the first rotation of Hills, about a 30-point game starting to unfold in front of us at the moment, but Nickel State currently possessing the favored side of the map. Holtroll trying to change that as he goes topside barn and waits for next point of contact, in which it's Hunter who's able to do a little step back fadeaway, gets the elimination with that Nickel State into the hill.
Beautiful play by Hunter for sure. And, you know, the thing that I'm going to be looking for right here is, yes, this P1, it's great to be able to pick up a little bit of time if you can, but mainly Louisiana Tech, they were able to get a ton of time on P2 last time. I want to see if Colonel Esports are going to adapt as Hunter able to pick up some nice time. I mean, I said any time on P1 is good time, so this is going to be great for them right now as he's going to be playing his life behind this gate wall. And, I mean, this is great time on P1. If we're talking about time, this is beautiful. And right now they have the control of the spawns as they have them currently spawning all the way in the back. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the mini-map. This is beautiful if you're a fan of Colonel Esports, as they're just going to be lining up, walking into the meat grinder. This is a perfect setup.
And Hunter's on 5, potential for streak, still playing the backside of the gate, but shut down once again. So both teams empty from extra resources. And now is LA Tech. See the second hard point open up. They're going to send Will on the same route that he got shut down on from before. One player will spawn near him, but it's Hunter once again in the back. Almost a chance to take down Sampy, who was affected by a couple of nades, but one... it's the exact same situation we had last time we were here, Rome. Nickel State, a perfect setup, perfect opening, and then 2 players from LA Tech get around the back to completely turn the tides.
Rinse, wash, and repeat. That's what it's all going to be about. And I mean, hey, if it comes down to that final hold on P5 or P1, P2, it doesn't really matter what hill it comes down to with these squads, the way they've been playing it. I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's going to be all about that coordination once it gets down to the last second. I mean, casting all this, it just seems like filler. I'm ready to jump to 240 at this point. like, just give it to me.
Well, Sampy's giving you at least something to keep you entertained. 23 and 13 for him through a rotation and an extra hill on top of that. And as LA Tech start to manipulate spawns, they will move their way over to P3, and Holtro, who was also close to a killing spree, gets cut just a touch short. Wage an important elimination. Will tagged up. How has Hunter found those shots? Stun will connect, and as he turns his attention into the hard point, Hunter just does not seem to be losing any gunfights. Finally, Hold Troll steps up to at least shut him down, but on 2 in a row and needing a regen, he does try to zone a little bit further forward, and as he does, Nickel State a chance to set up a break.
And, you know, the one thing that I wanted to point out is that it was Dreco and Wasian that were the standouts in the search and destroys, but in the respawns, it was really Hunter and C-Mac for the side of Colonel Esports that were making their name known. Right now, if Dreco, if he can step up right here for his squad, they might be able to mount this comeback, as right now, the battle for Grandma's is just going to be a big contest fest, as right now, Sand going to be rotating on around, just trying to get control for this barn rotation.
LA Tech here first, but they do not have a zone. You can definitely say that as Dreco takes down 2 from the top side of the map, and then you've also got Hunter in the back who wins a gunfight to open up and flip the spawn. So it's just seasoned, last one left alive inside the hard point. Catches Hunter, that's good for the elimination, and he stays alive through the very destructive lantern that came into play. Will following up the assist, and the reinforcements are good as LA Tech go 4 for 1, and they are currently possessing the hard point.
20-point advantage right now, but as you can see, Colonel Esports, they're in the backside. They're going to be trying to flood on in here, but Hold Troll right now, able to go massive right now, getting a couple. Dreco going to pick up 2 for himself. I mean, I said he's got to pick it up for his squad for Colonel to get back into it. He was 11 and 20 when I said that, and now he's 18 and 22, so definitely picking it up for sure. The question is, can Hunter, Wasian, and C-Mac continue the rampage that they've been on personally, but it's going to be Louisiana Tech with the 40-point advantage in Barn, as we're getting ready to head over to this Riverside. You gotta see exactly who's gonna be able to get control of it, as it is gonna be Will over there getting that big rotational kill.
This is so interesting from the side of Nickel State. They never come back to deal with Hold Troll in the hill, and it was all just the decision of, can we get around the back, let those guys just kind of look at one another for a contested 1v1 and then flip the spawns around. That decision may have just completely impacted what happens here at 5 as Hold Troll goes on another 4 spree. And LA Tech are in a great position to continue to lock things up, but they will realize that, okay, Nickel State is playing around the back, but this is one of those decision moments where you look at the Colonels and say, was it worth it? Because you just let go of about 45 seconds worth of time between the last and new.
And right now, Louisiana Tech making them pay for their mistakes for sure. C-Mac gets taken out, and also Hold Troll's going to get the information that they're spawning up here, and he's still going to stay alive. He's on an 8 speed right now, fully streaked out. Hold Troll is doing anything but trolling on the map right now. Make it a 9. Can he hit the double-digit marks? He's going to be looking for any and everyone he can. He's got the pistol out. This is when you're feeling hot. This is a heat check moment, and he's going to get it as he's able to hit the 10 spree. 35 and 23 coming out of him, as they're only 14 points away from securing the dub.
The lid has just been blown off this opening map. It really was, in the first rotation and a half, a 50-50 affair. We said at one point about a 30-point game when we were here last, but LA Tech just so good between 4 and 5 in that particular moment. The only real runaway moment that we had from either team so far, but not out of it yet are Nickel State, in particular Hunter on 4. You almost feel like he needs to start earning some streaks here, just the counter of what this Hold Troll is going to have, especially if you're going to make a full-on comeback start to come through. But LA Tech able to contest one last time, and as they do, they will break. And that likely will mean the game unless Dreco has something to say about it. Well, he had some words, but none of them landed. And with that, LA Tech, a masterful 4-5-1 rotation, blows the lid off the game, and it gets them the map 1 win, 250 to 172.
Absolutely beautiful. I mean, it seemed like they just, you know, in that second one, they started to figure it out. They started to figure things out in that second full rotation. And I mean, as a squad, it just clicked for them. And as you stated, one small mistake from Nichols, I mean, that it spelled doom for them at the end of the day. You know, they just weren't able to come back, and Louisiana Tech able to run away with the lead that they were able to acquire. I mean, big props to this squad for coming out strong. But now you got to look out for Nickel State in the S&D, man. They're pretty good in the S&D. We know they're coordinated, and I mean, S&D is where coordination, you're able to really flex those muscles.
Yeah, you know, before we really dig into the search, though, you know, this is where I go on my little tirades here and there. And I get really loud sometimes, Jerome. I don't know if you noticed that. But it really is kind of recapping over that first map. It was a really solid hard point from both teams. But the one decision, as we look back over the stats, that we have to go back to is that play through the second rotation in the scrap time of P4, where Hold Troll goes on his 10 spree, which you see there listed as his highest streak, largely because the Colonels are trying to rotate around Barn to try to play around the back to get spawns. I guess my whole question there is, why not just take the extra 2 seconds, have someone hit from side door, pinch out Hold Troll, take him out of the hard point, and then you have not just the Barn to work with, but you also could still run that flank that you're trying to pull. It just felt like a too greedy moment for me. and it ended up costing them pretty massively as they eventually rotated back to 5. So, an unbelievable game from Sampy, by the way. We mentioned he was like double positive at one point in time. He finished 38-22, just ahead KD-wise of Holtrol, 38-24. Great game from both of them.
I mean, big time. You can't say enough about this squad. They really turned up big time after that first full rotation. And, I mean, they just carried away with it. And now heading in to this Berlin search and destroy. I mean, if I'm Louisiana Tech, I want to definitely go up 2-0 here. I'm not trying to give this Nickel State squad any life because, I mean, we know heading into that control, if it's 1-1, poof, anything can happen at that point.
And it's Gavudu Control, which, no free shout-outs, but the Best of the Three podcast had a really funny take on Gavudu Control. It's like, if you don't feel confident in your control, just play Gavudu. Just see what happens. Maybe we get a couple extra kills, then we win the map because of it. So I think it's definitely an interesting kind of dynamic when you've got Gavudu Control in the mix, because as much as we love to look at map 3 as potential swing map conditions, Gavudu is just... It's Gavudu, bro. Like, it's just a map that not a lot of teams have figured out. And I would be arguing to say that no teams have fully figured out how to play that map on offense yet. So we'll talk more about that as we get there. But as you had mentioned, the two players that we were not highly kind of going into that hard point for Colonel's Esports, they're the two that really keep an eye on here for the Berlin Search and Destroy.
I mean, big time. Those are the players to watch for. Exactly as you stated. I mean, coming into this one, as we stated for the side of the Colonels, it was is actually CMAC and Wasian that I'm going to be looking for, or excuse me, Dreco and Wasian that I'm going to be looking for to step up in the search and destroy for this squad. They were definitely the standouts, both of them. I think it was Wasian. He started off like, what was it, like 1-5 or something in the search and destroy, and then finished it like 13 and 6 or something insane. Like, he just went absolutely off after that. And Dreco started off like 9-1, clutching up a 1v3 as well. Like, this squad has ice when it comes to search and destroy. So Louisiana Tech, they're going to be trying to put them down in a game mode. Or right now, I mean, this squad, they're 5-2 right now. Is Nickel State in search and destroy?
Here we go. For LA Tech, let's be honest, we have not seen a tremendous amount of them on stream. Yeah. A couple of different times, sure, but largely, I mean, they've kind of ran through their schedule outside of the one game that they played versus SIUE. So we'll see what they have to offer. Very quick hit over towards B. Holtrol's already in and around the backside, but there is a defender here. It's Dreco inside B. He just needs to go 1-for-1. Wasian watching his backside docks, and as Dreco hears the nades, he will get the free information. There's one onto Holtrol. Seasoned. Just outside the front door. Will contest it as he does. Dreco finds the second, while CMAC turns it into now a 3v1, just resting with Sampy.
Yeah, and I mean, we talked about it. Dreco, he's the player to watch. He's the player that's going to be over at B. He did it last week. He's doing it again. You got to be able to take him out if you want to plant that bomb, and that's going to be much easier said than done. Is now Sampy left alone in the 1v3. Not going to be long for this world.
No bomb, not any information.
Yeah.
I got to make a decision here because, honestly speaking, giving 3 kills to Dreco in round 1 is not exactly a prime prospect, and Sampy may just do that. Runs right on in, but no, actually does take away the kill. Opportunity to plant here, so hold on. He should be able to get this off. And for Colonel Esports, they are trying to hit this on a bit of a pinch, and as they do, they confirm the kill just after the bomb had been planted. Easy defuse. Colonel Esports striking first defensively.
Yeah, and I do like the play out of Sampy. He was able to get the big kill onto Dreco, who, played the exact same spot that he got the first kill in. So, able to just clear his corners smartly as, some good search and destroy players do. And I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to win your 1v1, which he was able to do. But what I really like about that play was he immediately hopped on the bomb because he knew that guess what, Dreco, he likes to play, even if it's 4 people alive, he's usually the lone player at B. So guess what? If it's a 3v3 and you kill, or 3v1 and you kill him, he's definitely going to be the only one over there. So you got to just plant that bomb, try to get out. He still got it down, just wasn't able to get out of the situation.
All right, here we go. What do we have as we swap the sides for the first time? The Colonel Esports squad of Nickel State, they make their way quickly over towards A. Help, though, in the middle of the map, actually. Dreco's in a very advanced position, and will punish as he makes his way around the statue. Good for first blood, and with that kill, CMAC is not really in a position to even try to play for a plant. You've got to find kills here still.
Big time. I mean, it's going to be Will in the backside. He's going to be hunting and lurking. That's going to be a nice kill coming out of Hunter. I mean, that was the pick that you were talking about. That was the one that they needed. And now with this control, they're going to be looking to press the issue at A. As you can see, all 3 players for Colonel Esports are starting to merge onto this A site.
For Colonel Esports, you're kind of still sneaking around until Will decides to go and just brute force his way forward. I was about to say, LA Tech had used a lot of their nades to see if there was going to be a plant at A after that kill head came through onto Dreco, but Will taking it the old-fashioned way, Hunter responding. It was to be a 1v3, and he will be able to get a plant off as Seasoned and Sampy are making a rotation over. Just comes down to will they meet here in the middle of the map? Hunter taking the same route. Does he expect to check his left? Sampy would be the first one here, and that's just unfortunate COD timing at its finest. LA Tech get the elimination, and with that, they also will respond with a defuse of their own.
Yeah, I mean, you plant for hallway and you go to the very end of the hallway, it's definitely going to be a spot that's going to get checked. So, I mean, he was pretty much 50-50 in it right there and ended up not paying off. Unfortunate for him. I mean, maybe if he went around the backside fully, he could have won that 1v1 and then played the time game at that. But, I mean, who knows? You know, he can't live in the past. Only thing that matters is the future right now. This squad tied things up 1-1. We got to see if they're going to be able to take out Dreco at B. My guess is they're going to be looking to go back over there. Will Dreco be able to play his life? That's the big question.
Yeah. All right. LA Tech looked like they want to take that same aggressive approach over towards B. They did get naded on this cross last time, and that will continue to be the case. Holtro sniffed out. Dreco going right back into what had been done before, but the difference this time is, look at the Bulldogs. Will has gotten all the way in towards fire. Number 1 in blue. He will find first blood as Dreco tries to defend this bomb site in front of him. Desperately needed too, by the way, as LA Tech are all over the map. It's really just Dreco by himself, and this is such a heads-up play. Get out of dodge, live to fight another day, and maybe you have a chance to still defend against this plan as the bomb will start to be alerted here at the B site.
Big time. I mean, if he just plays his life right now, it could be massive, but unfortunately, no sand is going to be sniffing him out, taking him out. Now it's just going to be a 3v2 situation, but definitely a doable one. Even though it's not likely, they have nice positioning around the bomb to be able to retake this one. Unfortunately, CMAC is going to be dropping. Hunter now the lone player. Perfect setup coming out of Louisiana Tech.
Easy finish up kill. Yeah, big difference maker there was Will. I mean, we didn't see it on camera, but he just kind of ran right through mailroom, up past tank, all the way around through fire. And no one ever saw him. That kind of cross position that we had last time around. Yeah, Dreco was in the site. We know that. But last time he had help from Wajan on the backside of Pier. That time, Wajan was not in the same position. And Will was able to sneak through and I'm sure raise a lot of question marks for Colonel Esports.
I mean, yeah, big time. I mean, looking at this one right now, Colonel, going to need to figure things out because that defensive round did not work whatsoever. Now on the offensive side, looks like they're going to be heading over to try a B hit of their own. It's only going to be Will. It is going to be over here for now, so they should be able to get this plant free and easy. Now the question is, can they play their lives? It's going to be Will coming in. Will he be able to get him off the bomb? It's going to be massive, and he's going to get one. Can he get two? Yes, Will coming up huge for the side of Louisiana Tech. Hunter going to be able to take him out now. Oh, man, Colonel Esports, they are down bad. Unfortunate 2v3 situation.
I was about to say, they're actually not in that bad of a spot with these two remaining ARs that can watch this long cross because Will just kind of forfeited his body trying to play for the quick double and then the quick defuse, but Hunter is now in a world of trouble. He going prone. Season didn't see him. Season had no idea because he went prone. So now a 1v1. 15 seconds, now down to 10. Sampy gets the kill, but he's not going to be able to get there in time.
Wow.
It's the entire, like, look, Will does everything you could possibly do except for stay too long. He tries to go onto the defuse, and that's just already being watched, and Colonel Esports are going to sneak away around.
I thought they were just going to take them out and go get that one easy. They had them pinched, but as you stated, he laid down at the perfect time. That is the definition of COD timing right there. If they're going to go back, watch this VOD, I mean, that's one you can't even be mad at. You just got to chalk it up, COD time, and it is what it is. Move on to the next round. We got ourselves a close one, 2-2. I mean, wow. Whew.
It really goes to show how good those post-plant positions are. And even when you do double up like that, you can't take those positions for granted.
Yeah.
So a mistake there for LA Tech now leads to a 2-2 count. Season having some fun with windows. He does not see the lower half of Wajan. Of course, we're looking right at him because he's got a white x-ray on him, but that's not going to be information that's mutual. And as CMAC trades with Will, bomb will be lost over towards this hit on a 3v3.
Right now, Will on the side of Louisiana Tech. He's going to need to win this 1v1 situation against Hunter, and he is going to be able to do that. At the same time, Dreco now going to need to clutch up the 1v3. He was able to find Sampy. Remaining is going to be a 1v2 situation. Bomb is going to be going down at A. Here it comes.
But he sees him. He saw both. Shots into Season, not able to finish off the kill, but he also saw Will in the rotation. 1v1 with Season, also gets an eye on him, but the pistol does not end up connecting. Just kind of slips around the back. We'll see it again, but it's a hell of a look out the window. He guesses right, and Season just hits into a corner. He gets the final kill.
He went down the stairs, walked to the left, and then said, nope, I'm going to go to the right because I know you're going to think that I went to the left because I saw you too. That was just a beautiful play to fake him out. Oh my goodness, Season going massive. Louisiana Tech clutching up when they need to the most, and now they're on defense. This squad right here, looking to go up 2-0. If they put Colonel Esports down right now, oh man, this is going to be massive for this Tech squad as they're looking to solidify their spot out of the groups.
We got a long way to go before we determine this map, though, brother. I'll tell you that much. Early information for Dreco that there were 2 players over the top of the A site leads to the commitment to trying to plant this bomb at B, but they lose Hunter, who's responsible for the mid-map cross. Wasian is able to at least pick that up, find Will as he tried to attempt to threaten the dock. Sampy will also give away his location. C-Mac very aware of that. And you also still have Dreco, who's in a very deep position through train yard that could, again, play the clutch-up position. C-Mac, top of the window, headshot, no problem. One more on the inside. Holtro looking for his first elimination. He doesn't see the shoulder? Excuse me? So Holtro's now a little bit stuck inside the site. He'll be dealt with. And Season, little PTSD from that last position. Double checks it a couple of times, but this time the defense all in front and around the site. Nowhere for Season to go but down.
I understand it's a dark map. I don't know if Holtroll, you got to change your brightness, something, but you got to be able to, it was his entire shoulder, not just a little part of it. That was the whole thing, man. I really thought he might be able to get that kill, but now Holtroll sitting right now at 0-6. Oh, man, unfortunate. He's going to need to pick this up. I mean, it's 3-3 right now. If Holtroll picks it up for his squad, they're going to be looking very, very good right here.
I agree. Absolutely so. Big impact player at the end of the Bacage, struggling. And this, look, if they get stunned here again, bro, like, do you not know that that's free information every time for Nickel State? I mean, Holtroll nearly puts himself right into the line of fire. Will is trying to help this time, but nade cooked from Draco. It's going to be double naded as well. Absolutely flawless. Holtroll does respond, and Will has a post-death nade that comes in. We go 2v2 with the plan.
Down just a few seconds remaining. Only 30 left that they got. Use this one. I mean, right now, both of them are stuck in the middle, though. This is not where you want to be. If you look at the positioning from Louisiana Tech, they're completely spread out. They have them sandwiched.
And C-Mac, if he can find Holtroll, maybe there's an opportunity to get back on towards side, and he does actually cleanly take the kill. Look at Wasian on the other side. He's completely pushed back Sampy. C-Mac can step on to defuse, but the shots are good at range. Sampy clutches it up with the last shot before he falls.
Was he weak?
What are we watching?
Was he weak, or was that just an automaton being an automaton?
That was an automaton right there, brother.
Oh, my goodness. He absolutely fried him off that bomb. He said, no, you...
Dude.
Like, what? He fried him. My goodness. Talk about dead accuracy. What a beautiful play to clutch up right there. And now Louisiana Tech with the advantage, 4-3. Oh, Colonel Esports on the offensive. Will they be able to answer back?
Unbelievable, this search. Unbelievable.
Oh.
First look that we're going to get for Colonel Esports to go back to what their initial offense was, which is a 4-man hit towards A, but take a look at this play from LA Tech. They are going to go all the way around, clear mailroom, and they're going to be all over this flank here from Nickel State.
Garage sales are great, but everything's got to go. It's free is even better, and that's exactly what they've got today. Is now it's going to be a 4v4 retake situation, but Colonel looking good as they are able to get the first blood.
And they've got the lockdown information as Season finds the kill. There is a play off the flank, but is anyone watching this cross from Holtroll? Does not appear to. Eliminations coming through very quickly. Just on to Wasian. Not the cleanest shots, but still confirms 4 in a row for him. Not a lot of time. Holtroll on the defuse. 15 seconds, and he's going to try to stick. No, he backs off of it. He backs off of the defuse. Wasian will still fall, and it got a little bit too close for comfort there for a moment, but regardless, LA Tech, the first significant lead in the search as they find 5.
I think right there they had a little bit of information as to where he was, so they would rather get off the bomb. Let's make sure that he can't just shoot one of us off the bomb and then pretty much run away at that point. So I think that was the smart play, but it was risky. I mean, you're right. That was cutting it close. That what he picked it up at like 8.7, like that. Woof, man, they are cutting it tight right now, but still able to clutch it up is going to be Louisiana Tech, and now only 1 round away. But they've got to do it on an offensive end right here, or else it might be Colonel getting right back into this one.
Here we go. Needs 3 in a row for Nicholls State. Has to start with this defense. And it's a aggressive hit through mid for LA Tech, just showing the versatility and variety. Will gets first blood. We, again, don't see that on screen. Unfortunate, but Will does at least get into a power position afterwards. This should provide for a free plant at A, but I'm curious to see if Hunter maybe has an angle. Maybe stop this, and C-Mac actually watches a player cross. That's going to be information for Hunter to try to cook up a nade. Dreco finding one through the middle of the map. The nade does connect, but not for a kill. The bomb gets planted. It's on to C-Mac and Hunter to try to find eliminations as quick as possible to deny this post plant.
Yeah, they were able to tie things up, 3v3 situations, but it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a pinch. Dreco able to get a big kill, and now these players are going to be left. One's going to be in hallway, one's going to be out. He's actually going to hop outside. There's going to be a massive exchange. It's going to be coming out, and Seasoned going to be backing on up as Dreco not going to be able to secure the kill.
Oh, but Dreco's done more than enough. What just blew up that table? Hello? That is a volatile.
I don't know. I don't know.
That is a volatile piece of cedar right there. Tell you what.
Oh man, wow! Colonel Esports able to answer back. I mean,
there was a lantern on it. I was like, I've never seen that table blow up.
I say, does he have a different type of rounds? I don't know what exact perk he's got, but man, might be able to answer for a lot of things we've seen with the automaton. But Jesus Christ, we're gonna be heading into this one 5-4. Colonel Esports on the offensive end, and I mean, hey, listen, their A hit, it was free last time. So my guess is they're not going to be going there because they understand it's going to be defended this time, and that's exactly where they're going to decide. And they're going to head over to B, take the 2v1 over here on Will. But how long is Will going to be able to survive outside of mailroom?
This is an aggressive posture again for LA Tech's defense, but the positioning is not providing them the eliminations that they were hoping for. Will now sneaking around the back, tiptoeing his way into the post-plant positions. The only thing about this is, as good as this is for Will, Nicholls State has not committed to getting into B as of yet. And now he's going to read it. Trigger discipline. How long do you wait? That is apparently the call. Bomb will now be dropped. 45 seconds to the clock. Dreco responds and turns this into a 2v2.
It's going to be a massive situation. I mean, it's still going to be the positioning of Will. But guess what? Wasian, he understands exactly what he needs to do. He has to take out this player because guess what? No bomb is going to be going down until they take out Will. It's going to be a big old ring around the rosy fest. Will is going to be putting down some shots, but not going to be able to land enough. So he's going to be dipping on out of there as that bomb.
Wait.
He's going to be picked up by
completely given it up.
They looped around. I don't know if that was misinformation or what, but they decided to get together, and now they're going to be sniffing out Draco in the 2v1.
Thing is, Dreco planted this for a dockside post plant. Sampy up top gets the kill. Wasian is not in a position to watch this post plant from afar. He's got to go to get close. I don't know if he fully realizes that yet. Sampy's going to hop in, try to play for the defuse, but it's not going to make much of a difference because Will finishes up in the same location in which he started the round. It'll be a 6-4. The Bulldogs up 2-0.
Louisiana Tech coming up massive right here when they needed to. I mean, this Colonel Esports squad, they were fighting back tooth and nail. I mean, this one, these rounds were coming down to the wire. And I mean, the fact that Louisiana Tech came out on top, it was extremely close. They had to clutch up, and we talked about coordination, teamwork. We said Nicholls State has it. Looks like Louisiana Tech got it too.
Oh my goodness, that much the case for sure. It blows my mind that we're in stage one and we have 4 teams that are looking this darn good. Obviously, Southern Illinois, Edwardsville cruising their way to number 1 seed, but LA Tech playing Nicholls State extremely closely. Same could be said about Mississippi State against both of these prior 2 teams. So, my goodness, what an unbelievable set of maps that we've had so far. But at the end of it, it's LA Tech up 2-0. Gavudu, Control will be up next, but you look back over this search, and the fact that you get that kind of a performance from Will and Sampy again when Whole Troll was essentially absent for the first, 8 rounds of this Search and Destroy? That was what keeps you in this game.
He was getting like a kill every few rounds or so. Let's not put too much disrespect on his name. I mean, at the end of the day, they won the map. That's all that matters, man. Is if you go 3-9, I'm fine with it, man. Your deaths was more information for me, so I'm cool with it. At the end of the day, we're up 2-0. We're feeling good because now we're going to be heading to that turn map in Gavutu Control, and anything can happen on this one. So, I mean, let's be honest. You want that confidence heading into this one as they're going to now take a few minutes to reassess, reassemble themselves, if you will.
We will. We'll be back to a break after this. Gavutu Control. Don't go anywhere. Got more CCL after this. A 2-0 affair so far, but do not let that fool you. Nickel State fighting, but it's LA Tech that find themselves in a massive leader's advantage. We've got Gavutu Control coming up. My whole shift with me, Rome. And look, I will be candid. Went on Twitter. I don't know who has this map figured out. But for Colonel Esports, you better hope you've got something in mind, because this is where the reverse sweep has to start.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and if anything will tell us anything, last series we saw it. A reverse sweep is definitely on the table. It can happen.
It's fair.
It's very alive and well. The underdog in the Oregon Ducks, a lot of people had them as the underdog in the series. They were able to fully reverse sweep. So, listen, Colonel Esports, they're not even an underdog coming into this. These squads are dead even. So, I mean, a reverse sweep is definitely on the table. The fact that Louisiana Tech are even up 2-0 is a blessing because, I mean, every single round it seemed like of that Search and Destroy was just so close.
Oh, absolutely. And even as you look over map number 1 score, it really, for me, just came down to one bad decision from Colonel Esports that eventually led to the 251-72 and what was a very tight affair all the way up until that point. But, as you mentioned, if anything tells us anything, that last series of reverse sweep also started on Gavutu Control, if I'm not mistaken. So, who knows? Maybe there's a little bit of magic in the map, or the quote-unquote underdogs, if you want to call them that. Hard to say, though, because, again, neither team is ranked, which I'm still really upset about. So, we'll see what happens here. I think the biggest thing is we need to see all 4 members from Nickel State come out firing in this respawn. You can't just rely on 2 players to do it.
Yeah, they got to have utter confidence at the end of the day. I mean, we saw last week they were able to win their control, and, I mean, they've got to do it yet again here. I mean, they've got the players, they've got the coordination, they've got the teamwork, they've just got to have the edge. But right now, Louisiana Tech, they've been able to just barely find ways to out-mistake them, essentially. As you stated, it was one mistake and then a couple of mistakes, like letting a player lay down and not seeing him. Like, it's little things, saying that even in the Search and Destroy. Oh, man, like, this series has been amazing. 2-0 does not tell the tale whatsoever. Colonel Esports, they are still alive and well in this. If you're in the chat supporting them, don't lose hope. It's not over yet.
Also, just kind of looking at the macro importance of this match. Think about it this way. LA Tech, you finish up this, series. Well, I won't say 3-0, but, hey, could be a 3-0. But you finish out this series, you get yourself that win. That guarantees you, actually, I believe, the number 2 seed over Nickel State because you hold the head-to-head tiebreaker versus them. Of course, if you lose this series, it's Mississippi State that would be then called upon to make things interesting with a potential win versus Southern Illinois. But we get some interesting looks here. LA Tech, 3-man hit through topside ring. They're going to stack for B. That's 1 tick of progress, and the nades that are coming through are going to find more eliminations. That's the 2nd tick of progress in Nickel State. They're going to have to chalk B.
Oh, they did it. They did it. Wait, and now they have 2-13 to be able to capture A? Oh, man, Nichols. You've got to come out stronger than this right here. You've got to be able to fight like... I mean, let's be honest. They have already secured themselves top 3 in their group. So maybe they came into the this one a little bit lax. Maybe they're like, you know what? Louisiana Tech, okay. You can have me. Let's try our best. We just want to practice our A defense. Let's be real.
Well, and here's the thing. Speaking of that A defense, like, this is how you would go about trying to zone off the spawns to make life difficult for LA Tech to get over towards that A zone. But an unfortunate team nade will create a lot of space for LA Tech to come out of spawn, and Hold Troll on 4 in a row has also kind of put some consideration for a potential flank. He's not committing to it as of yet, but CMAC cannot push forward. He's got to wait to see where Hold Troll has gone off to. And he says, I'm done waiting. Got to make a little pinch happen on my own. He's going to re-climb up top. This is risky, but he finds himself behind a couple of different Bulldog members. First tick of progress is good, but it's only 1 elimination so far. as Season will confirm the tick, and now all of a sudden the Colonel Esports team, they need to break right here.
They're gonna need this big time. Stampy gonna be patrolling up top right now, but he is gonna get taken out. Wasian and Dreco able to get a couple of big kills. C-Mac clutching up right now, keeping this one at 1 tick. I mean, 1 tick and we're halfway through. So technically, Colonel Esports, at least in the last minute, they've done a good job. They've just got to be able to lock this down. They can only let 1 more tick of progression come through if they want to win this one. I mean, if they hold right here on A, I mean, what does that really say if you're Louisiana Tech?
It says that you need to figure out how the heck you're going to get over to the A zone, brother. I mean, every time that we've seen a play for the Bulldogs try to open up the backside flank, it's someone who gets to ring and then tries to flip all the way back to respawn. You don't need to do that. Clear out the middle of the map and then get onto the zone. So they're finally going to do that. 8 versus 9. Holtro working on a second tick of progress, but where are you going?
I mean, right now, I'm confused as you are right now. Man. Louisiana Tech, though, finally able to get in. They do get this second tick. 25 seconds remaining. Colonel Esports, if they break in right here, I mean, this is going to be massive. They have to do it now, though. And Colonel Esports...
Oh, Wasian. What a double that is. Completely stops the progress being made in the zone. Help has now arrived. Season can do nothing from the tank. It's a 5v2. Hunter also backing down Will. And Nickel State will immediately respond to the 4-man hit to B with an unbelievable defense. For my money, if you could give an MVP for a single round, it's Wasian right there at the end for 2 kills to clear off the zone and stop that third tick of progress.
Yeah, that was what his squad needed at the perfect time. Could not have been better. I mean, right now, Mississippi State, they started off this round very, very sad about how it was starting with Colonel being down. But the way that Colonel just fought back in Hell Day, I know everyone at Mississippi State is saying, let's go, Colonel. Bring this back. Send Louisiana Tech into a reverse sweep situation because guess what? We want to make it out of our group.
I just don't know where Holtro is going there at the end. Like, you got 1 kill and you're trying to push through. Like, they could have stacked. And that would have maybe been the difference between capture and non-capture. I don't know. I'm on my own little tirade. But as we get into this one, first attempt for Nickel State towards A, completely shut down, only finding a single elimination in the process. 2, actually, pardon me. And with that, now LA Tech an opportunity to try to play for a bit of a spawn trap of their own, but right off the respawn, a couple of kills come through. Nickel State starting to put a little bit of pressure over towards the A zone, in which Holtro activates, and that will be enough to clear out the large majority of the pressure, especially as he finds the last kill into C-Mac.
Well, as you stated, right now playing this turret, playing this patrolling role in the mid. I mean, just being a nuisance, and finally C-Mac is going to be able to take him out. Now they can attempt to work on getting to this A, but I mean, with only 29 seconds remaining, it's been a great job coming out of Louisiana Tech. Great defensive round.
Again, the thing about it, we have to always keep in the back of our mind, even though we kind of look at that first round for LA Tech saying, my goodness, is that convincing? You got B captured. The lives were like a 4-life differential in favor of Nickel State by the end. So even though this has been an utterly disappointing offensive round for Colonel Esports, they're doing what they need to do to hold that life lead at the moment. And even still, you know, there is time to potentially even further the progress here at A, although naturally I say that, and the last 2 remaining Colonel Esports members will fall. So we go to a 4-life differential. C-Mac going to give it one good last final try. And as he does, he's going to realize that there are a number of Bulldogs in his way, and he may just think the better of that and just let the round come to an end. Or will he? They get in with 0.6 seconds.
Oh, it is going to be Holtro on the backside coming in. Hunter getting 1. He has to get the second one, though. In order to secure this one, he has to stop him at the door. Will he be able to? And no!
They got it.
They got it! Oh, my goodness. Barely able to. And now with 55 seconds remaining, it's just all up to B.
Let's not get it twisted, though. There is still so much that Nickel State has to do if they want to win this round.
That was so
12v9. I don't know. I think C-Mac was also on the zone in the back, by the way. I think he may have confirmed the final. But regardless, 3-life differential, 30 seconds gives you really 1 chance at this. Season, though, blasted from inside the zone. The last remaining Bulldogs are only watching the mid-cut here, and you've got Wasian kind of on a flank potential to where he may actually be able to open up a handful. It's number 5 in white. He gets turned down, and as he does, LA Tech will likely secure the round. One last attempt here for Dreco to try to move forward with Hunter, and they will give it one last full-on try, but it will amount to nothing.
Yeah, and the hard thing is that when you are able to capture A at the very last second, that just leaves you so little time to work a full 3 ticks at B. It's just going to be extremely hard to do that. I mean, if you're able to get B at the last second, you have a chance of doing it today, but it's just so hard doing it the other way around. So, I mean, props to them for being able to even get A. Yes, it was hype, but at the end of the day, getting B, it's going to be much, much more difficult.
Especially with 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, 60 seconds. 60.6 if we're being exact.
And you got to run there, so.
Yeah.
Like, it's
I'm telling you, this map, bro. I don't know who's going to be the first team to figure this out, but I'm excited to see who it will be. Hold Troll on 5, by the way.
My thoughts is, Louisiana Tech, they went for the B hit last time, and it worked. They just weren't able to get A in those 2 minutes, which, I mean, surprised both of us, I think. So, I mean, who knows? I mean, it looks like right now they tried to spread things out and head over a little bit toward B, but they got completely shut down. Wasian picked up 2. He's finally going to get dropped as they're going to be ending those streaks right there, not letting him get anything of worth. I mean, Dreco now, is he going to be, got terrible COD time, and unfortunate is this player number 1, Will. He was able to slip through the back, and this player number 1, Will, he could be the thorn in the side, the needle, none whatsoever. So he's behind all 3 of these players. Oh, this is big.
He never touched the B zone, so they have no idea that he's gotten all the way through the back. And now you can almost see a little bit of panic if you just look at the arrows, how quickly they're turning forward and backwards here. Yep, this is going to be a zone around the B site, but with that, Dreco is also behind this play for Nickel State. Hold Troll on the A zone. Double progress coming through. You've got to take care of Hold Troll and then immediately capitalize on this hit towards B. First tick of progress should be good. Dreco clearing things out, calling some information. You want to stop this second tick as much as you humanly can, though, and Dreco's going to take the wide route. Does he get there in time to touch? It looks like they do just in the nick of time. Second tick of progress does not come in.
And this is big because now everyone's going to be going straight back over to A. You can see it's going to be all white in the kill feed, at least for now. CMAC does get traded out. So now Hunter trying to go big for his squad. Colonel Esports needing to lock this one down. 15 seconds remaining as this is going to be the final push.
Whew, heck of a snap from Hunter. Pistol in hand at 1 HP. Forced to take the fight versus Season, did not take it in tow. And as Dreco continues to just farm off spawn, it's looking like this round will be really hard pressed for LA Tech to do much to extend it. Will and CMAC very aware of one another by this ladder. 3 seconds on the clock. Will's going to try to get in. Shots onto Hunter, also sees the MP40, but forgot to do the most important part, which was touch the zone. So, with that, Nickel State respond with another defense. That one much cleaner than the first, and we go to a 2-1 tally into the 4th round.
All right, let me just say, Colonel Esports, it's about, this is caster math quickly at looking at it, it's about 69 to 56 when it comes to the kills, okay? It's about, let me say about, okay, because I know you guys are all about to do math, okay? See, 34 times 2, 17 across the board, that's 68, okay, so we're good to go there, all right? So we understand that one. Then on the other side, all right, we got, what is it, 36 plus 11, that's 47 plus 59. Yep, there we go.
Right,
cool, so
go.
we're good to go. So a 9-kill differential just in case this one goes to overtime, because right now it is going to be Colonel Esports on the offensive end.
That's really solid math. I like the way that you formulated the math as well, kind of working through your process. Because you know, like there's always people who put like a string of like a PEMDAS thing out there. It's like, how does your mind tackle this math?
Right.
It's always interesting. But regardless, let's get into the action because the action is thick. Will up top, not going to be able to take the second elimination, which was the most important one, arguably, as CMAC is the sole Colonel member on the A zone, and he's going to get this first tick of progress. And there's a little bit of pressure already starting to amount as you've got Dreco on one side through green, Wasian on the other through ring, but here comes the retake. LA Tech just running on into sight. No regard for any corners whatsoever. 3 kills come through. That's going to be the A zone, and there's an opportunity here for Nickel State to actually make a play over towards B if they want to, but instead decide to hold their ground and try to work more kills.
What is Sampy doing? He's been back here for literally the past 30 seconds.
No
I've been
idea.
literally saying, what is he doing? He hasn't gotten a kill in a while, finally able to get one. I mean, but that's going to be A going through completely. Yes, he's going to be a thorn in their side. They're going to be able to finally sniff him out. But was that worth it? You just essentially gave up A. He was behind them the entire time that they were capturing that A site. I do not agree with that play whatsoever out of Sampy.
Another potential mistake. We've talked about him a lot. Hole Troll playing in the backside of Beach is not able to get the double kill. Wasian off the reload, not quite able to make anything happen. So we go Pinstripe in the kill feed, and a 5-life lead starts to come across our screens as LA Tech are desperately trying to take back map control, but are not finding any success in that endeavor. 21 playing up against 16, and that first tick of progress has not been fully depleted yet either. So an opportunity probably to lock in more ticks of progress depending on how this hit goes.
And I like these. You can see player 1 versus player number 6 is going to be massive, but it is going to be Dreco that is going to be winning this one, and he might be able to get behind enemy lines right now, but it is going to be Will respawning up, going to be re-challenging Dreco over there at that rotational kill. So, I mean, really it's going to be about Dreco being able to get behind them at this point. That's in my opinion, what I think this is going to come down to.
Yeah, he has to wait. And with this space, look at this off respawn. Nickel State actually try to want to join him and put the play around the back. What happens to spawns here for LA Tech? That's always the kind of question mark, as can Colonel Esports read this? Good eliminations coming through. They also get a read onto Will. Kill starting to him out. 4v2 now towards the actual zone itself. It's Sampy on the inside. Nothing that he can find there. Hole Troll off the respawn. Does at least take one immediately upon spawning, but the first tick of progress looking good. 15v11, but LA Tech fighting back and doing it strongly. The first tick gets confirmed, but Hunter gets stunned out, and the Bulldogs retake with a 2-life lead, starting to still amount here for Colonel Esports.
All right, but I like it out of Colonel. They were at least able to figure it out. They were able to get behind enemy lines, make things happen, get the picks they needed, and get that tick. Now the question is, can you recreate that yet again, and this time get yourself 2 ticks with only 28 seconds remaining? I mean, the kills essentially even right now, 10-8. It is going to be in favor of Louisiana Tech, though. They might be looking good to tie this one up. Is Will going to be going big? Can he go? No, C-Mac, that was a big kill right in here. This is going to be the final push coming out.
The problem is there's just not a lot of time for this 8v6 to really do too much. Dreco does work around the back, has an opportunity to line some players up. C-Mac lost on where that last player had remained over towards the beaches, and that will be enough for the Bulldogs to confirm the defense, but the math still seems favorable. You know, you said the margin was 9. I believe the margin at the end of this round was a +2 deficit favoring LA Tech. So the expectation would be that the Bulldogs need to find a way to fully cross this offense through the finish line.
That's unfortunate for them if that is the case, and it looks like that is going to be the case. So the Bulldogs going to need to figure things out on offense. Shout out to Caster Math, Seasoned and company. Let's see what you got right here. I mean, Seasoned sitting at 14-23, but he is at least on a 3 streak for his squad. Let's see if he can try to bring those streaks to fruition right here on this. Ooh, that's going to be a triple stun. Draco going big.
From top green, just lines them up across the jump. 4 for 1. Thank you very much. Go back to base and try again. And as they do actually come out of base and try again, that's actually a quick 2 kills. So hold on a second. LA Tech moving quickly. Will actually able to get to bottom side green. He's trying to make a mess of this. He should have heard the wall break behind him, but is more interested about trying to play around the back. C-Mac, how aware is he that he gets that call out? Finishes off Will in the back. Hunter from the front, able to clear off the zone plus more. Sampy, one of the last remaining members, can do nothing besides just sit top third and wait for teammates to come help.
Yeah, and the thing is that that first tick, it did not get completed. It was oh so close, but 2 big kills going to be coming in from Will. And that's going to be helping them at least secure this first tick. Is going to be big. Player number 5, Wasian, he's going to be working his way around. Going to be trying to just be a nuisance in the back. He did lay down some fire, so they are going to understand what he's going to be trying to do. So he's going to decide to come back to the middle, join back into the war. Because now this second tick is going to be coming in as Sampy and company going to be locking this one down.
Got to slow down here if you're Nickel State. It's not the end of the world if you give away this zone, but you cannot afford to give away more space through the middle of the map. And the kills continue to come out for the Bulldogs. This is the best look that they've had on their offense as of yet. 1:35 on the clock. You've got Hole Troll already trying to make a play through B, but Wasian was very aware of that. In the back now, Will trying to hit the other side of the flank. Hunter here catches him right off the reload, and Nickel State will salvage at the exact right moment this defensive look.
Yeah, and I mean, right now it's just going to come down to how well this squad can lock down the easiest one to lock down. The fact that they were able to do A for 2 whole minutes and lock down A and not let Louisiana Tech get that one. I mean, this is going to be looking extremely good if you're Colonel Esports to try to start this reverse sweep. I mean, hey, guess what? In the last series, it started off as it on Gavutu, and I mean, it might happen right here again.
Think about this is Nickel State are all around the top of AA gun. Sure, you've got Seasoned trying to make a flank happen for the Bulldogs, but he is the sole remaining member in blue, and he really can't do too much but sit and wait. Nickel State also a little bit of pressure forward, as Dreco will drop. 35 seconds on the clock. 1 life lead right now for LA Tech, but you kind of think that's negligible with the amount of time that's still remaining. You got to find a way to get over to B if you're LA Tech, and they're not really even getting across the mid 50-yard line at the moment of the map.
Yeah, I mean, you asked who's going to be able to figure this map out. We really don't know. And, I mean, as of right now, it looks like nobody. You know who was able to win this map? Defense. 5-0. That's who won this map. All the rounds that were won were on the defensive side. So, I mean, really, it's just going to come down to one of these squads eventually figuring out how to break that mold and figure out how to get an offensive win.
Yeah. Tough one. I mean, this one, to be fair, not over yet. Hunter needs to get the clearance, and he does. 6v7. Last attempts here for LA Tech, shut down. And I'll say this much as it was an all-defensive affair, that was probably the most interesting look from an offensive perspective that I've seen on this map in a while, so credit where credit is due. But the Colonel Esports team, a little bit too convincing on their defensive efforts, led to the round 5 favor, and it was this opening little spree from Dreco. Stuns over the top, and then thank you very much for lining up.
Yeah, just a beautiful play coming out of him all around. And I mean, now, you know, Louisiana Tech, they know what can happen. I'm sure that they were watching the last series. They do not want another reverse sweep on stream. I mean, right now it's cooking up to be that exactly right now. I mean, we got to go to this hard point, see what's going to be happening. It's going to be fun for sure. I mean, but looking at these two squads, they're so evenly matched. I would sit here and say that one squad has the advantage, has the momentum, but I think that since both squads understand that they had defense, I don't think that either squad are really going to be too happy or dejected coming off of that map.
No, it's good voodoo control, man. I feel like everyone just looks at that map as saying, well, it really is just an objective-based TDM right now for a lot of squads. But, you know, I still go back to a couple of key plays. Dreco was massive on a number of defensive holds that we saw there, immediately needing to respond to LA Tech coming off of either a successful B hit, like we saw in the opening round, or there at the end, after they eventually captured A. But Wasian as well, going back to that round 1 defense, through the middle of the map, it was a 1v3 around the A zone, the only remaining zone left. One more tick of progress was needed to capitalize, and Wasian finds 2 of the 3. That was an unbelievable moment, I would say, for the Colonels to keep this within their grips.
Yeah.
So, now, the Berlin hardpoint. And, look, the thing about it is, you look back to map number 1 naturally, as I think a lot of people would do. You see 251-72, and I think a lot of people would say, oh, LA Tech's better at hardpoint. That's not necessarily a guaranteed statement. It really was just one poor decision from Colonel Esports that kept them out of map 1 for my mind. That's where my mind is going to here. What is going to be the moment in this map 4 that will dictate the difference between these two squads? Because that's been the case for every single map. One moment here, one moment there could either favor you or disfavor you supremely.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel like Berlin, it really comes down to those rotations. It comes down to who's able to get those rotational kills to next, especially to mailroom, things like that. Who can lock down that early time for their squads? I mean, we've seen some crazy games on Berlin Hardpoint already in this season. So the fact that these two squads are going to be coming in extremely ready to, you know, leave their imprint on it, I'm going to be expecting fireworks right here out of both sides.
We'll see how it goes. I again go back to the same story point, though, that, you know, I think for either of these two teams, this is such a John Madden comment, and I hate myself for making it, but I think it really will dictate the outcome here is which full group of 4 is going to put together the most consistent performance. Because there were moments for both teams, not just through that last control, but also in the opening hard point where you had certain players that were really taking over and others that were kind of being dragged along at times. You come out and you show me that all 4 members are going to slay heavy, kind of like we did see during that opening of Gavudu Control for Nickel State, hey, that may set the tone for the entire map.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, the way that Louisiana Tech were able to come out and get B off the rip, they definitely were able to catch Nickel State off guard. So, you know, they do not want to let that happen right here. If you're the side of Nichols, you want to be coming out. You want to have, you know, your head on your shoulders. You want to be good to go, ready for action. And I mean, I think that they're definitely going to be ready mentally. This squad, they showed last week that they have the ice. They can clutch up. And now here we are, map 4. Time is now.
Attack from the favored side. Holtroll already spamming the side door. CMAC is going to be allowed to get in. Holtroll damaged. That will be enough for Hunter to come on in and find one elimination, but that's the only elimination that largely is found by Nickel State. Wasian continuing to hold backside of this glass area. And actually, he's kept his life very nicely. Turned that into a second elimination, and that's going to neutralize the hard point early. Good stuff here for Nickel State from the unfavored side.
Yeah, at least able to, make something happen right now. But, I mean, as we say that, the kill feed starting to turn blue. Louisiana Tech, the Bulldogs, starting to bark a bit here on this P1 as they're going to be getting, like, all this scrap time, feeling extremely good. We're going to be heading over to this mailroom, and nobody really has complete control of it, so this is anybody's rotation.
Yeah, really good stuff from LA Tech. Colonel Esports, I thought was going to be primed to at least get in and find a little bit of time, but LA Tech holds soundly in season, gets a couple of eliminations to open up mailroom. Dreco, unfortunately, the barrel explodes right next to him. That turns into a four-man feed, and LA Tech off to a literal flawless start, including Sampy on 5. The potential for him to not just stay for streaks, but he hasn't died yet. 6-0 for Sampy as he continues to be off our screen for some reason. Gets his 7th, so he's earned streaks. Good stuff for him. That's full-on earn, as LA Tech have only given away a single point.
Seasoned went massive, picking up 2 to be able to get control of this. And, I mean, I don't know what happened to Dreco outside with the barrels, but, I mean, we know that the barrels are not anyone's friend. They have only enemies in this world that is Vanguard. And, I mean, right now it's just going to be all about these rotations over to next. It's going to be Louisiana Tech that are trying to win that as well, as they're saying, Colonel Esports, you're finally getting time, but it's only going to be scrap time, as we're going to be controlling this whole room. I mean, they're locking down the lobby right now. Beautiful stuff.
The thing about this is Will is actually going to be in the flank, number 6 in blue. So now you've got Nickel State making their way forward. If we could get the perspective of Will on the flank, that would be incredible, because Sampy's doing nothing at the moment. Will gets the double. 6-4 for him, as Nickel State entire attempt through fire has been completely shut down by one member and one member alone. 3 kills for Will, not able to step away from Wasian, but the job has been done.
Yeah, and if you look at the spawns player 1 and 4, they spawned all the way out by train track. 6 and 7, guess what? They spawned right behind the hill. So Louisiana Tech, they're going to be feeling good, having control of spawns, and it's going to be extremely difficult with only 25 seconds left for Colonel Esports to get any time on this hill right here, right now. And as it's going to be a rotation over to those train tracks, it's going to be player number 6 that wins a huge rotational kill. That was actually Will, and now it's going to be player 4, Hunter, that's going to be trying to chase him down. But I mean, they're going to be getting this whole side. Finally, he is going to get killed. Actually, oh man. That would have been absolutely tragic for them, but still 3 players of LA Tech going to be converging on this one player.
And Hunter knows, I can do nothing here but try to keep my life, and he actually takes a couple of errant shots. That's enough for Holchel to become aware of the position. So maybe an opportunity missed there from Colonel Esports as LA Tech continue to grow this lead. It's just that they've been beat up on rotation, flat out. They have been absolutely beat up on rotation. Finally, there's some favorable spawns for Colonel Esports, and it will allow them a chance to at least see the majority of this hard point. It's just not confirmed. I mean, the kills are just not coming through. I mean, really, I shouldn't even say that. The kills are not terrible. It's just LA Tech keep blowing up plays before they could really unfold for Nickel State.
Yeah, they're able to really secure a ton of hill time when it seems like they shouldn't be able to. Finally, all 4 players of LA Tech are going to drop, and Colonel Esports are going to be able to get some points. But, I mean, they're down 100. Louisiana Tech already more than halfway there. They're going to be feeling extremely comfortable in this second rotation. I mean, after this P5, where it's pretty much going to be all even, I want to see, is Louisiana Tech going to be rotating to get these early rotations for that P1, because that can be oh so massive.
Couple of good kills so far. Wasian eventually shut down. But C-Mac starting to build up towards streaks of his own. The thing is, you need to start seeing this turn into actual objective time. That's the biggest problem. Up close and personal. Wow, okay, Will just comes through and gives him a little chest bump. C-Mac good for his 6th in a row. 1 away from full streaks as Nickel State finally get into a hard point. Sampy gets a read and turns it into 2. And LA Tech able to at least neutralize time and get actually some of their own here through 5.
Beautiful plays coming out of them, and anytime you're able to get any time on this P5, it's going to be feeling oh so good. I mean, hey, it was just a little bit, but still, I mean, it's going to be feeling good. C-Mac picking up 2 massive kills, though, for his squad, currently sitting at 13 and 9. Will's going to be getting the better. Wasian up top, trying to get as much time as he can on ult.
Yeah, but they've missed another rotation. LA Tech gets seasoned around the back. That actually flips spawns while the 5th hardpoint is active, and because Will is so far forward in the middle of the map, Colonel Esports just spawned in Hamburg, not Berlin, because they were all the way out. So now you've got a break, and that's been the key, man. LA Tech have just put together unbelievable little route plays to flip out spawns, put themselves in the best position possible. Nickel State forced to fight against the most extreme odds, and they've done pretty well, largely speaking. Even off this pinch from CMAC that can re-clear the hill, it's just they have not yet been in one convincing position across any of these hills so far.
I mean, the one thing that I said before this map started was this map is all about the rotations, winning them, and winning those rotational kills. And it seems like every single time that we are talking about the rotations, it's Louisiana Tech that are winning it each and every time. And now, as we're going to be heading over to P2, you can see player 8, Sampy, picking up another rotational kill. Now he's going to be heading out toward this B bomb site, heading over here, and they're just going to be getting complete control. Now it's going to be all up to Will inside to be able to burst through the doors and make something happen. And yes, he's going to be able to get one, but Wajan does answer right on back, but he's going to be dropping in the mailroom. Paper's going to be flying. Louisiana Tech looking to break in and secure this.
Yeah, you can even tell just in some of these moments that Nickel State are really starting to feel anxious about this. They're fully stacking inside the hill. Now, granted, they are, again, out-trading in a number of key moments to allow them some time, but no one's taking routes. No one's trying to get around the backside of any of these rotations around the 25 to 30-second marker, and that has caused just easy advantages for LA Tech. 20 seconds to fight for, and it looks like the Bulldogs say, we don't want to give this away for free. We really want to cement our status here for a potential 3-1, and as they break in, it's looking good to get not just above 200, but they could get really darn close to 250 as Will finds another elimination inside the hill. No more to find, but again, you look at the minimap, and LA Tech are already set up for new.
Yeah, and only 44 points remaining. I mean, we're talking about all the things that aren't being done. I mean, another thing not being done, calling in streaks. So, I mean, once we head over to train tracks, I mean, Louisiana Tech, they've got a bunch in their back pocket. I believe a total of 4. I believe Will and Sampy each have streaks in their back pocket. I know Sampy for sure. I believe Will got them earlier on in the game. So, I mean, having 4 streaks in your back pocket, only needing 34 points remaining, knowing that you're going to be heading over to those train tracks on next, they're going to be feeling oh so comfortable to close this one out.
That is just, I mean, really, it's Will and Seasoned on so many of these rotations that have just completely opened up full flips. And then Sampy, who's just happy to either spawn up and watch a long lane or just take a casual lane inside of the hard point and just deny entry. It's been nearly flawless from LA Tech. It's one of those maps that, again, you look at and you say, oh, LA Tech is just so much better. And in this map, they were, pending, of course, they put this one out of reach here as soon as the 4th opens. But for Colonel Esports, it's just, you could feel the anxiousness coming through where they were just fully bunkering, not zoning off rotations, and it just led 2 easy advantages for LA Tech.
And I mean, right now, with only a few seconds remaining, they're going to be feeling extremely good. This is going to be the final break. It's going to be too little, too late. I mean, Colonel, they put up a solid, a valiant, I mean, a heroic effort, even if you will, in the first 2 maps. It just looks like that is not going to be how we're going to be leaving things out here at the end.
There's the streaks. Glide Bomb will find the final kill needed, as will see this over the 250-point threshold. Louisiana Tech do what is required to avoid any tiebreaker situations if Mississippi State were to put together a miracle at the end of the week playing up against Southern Illinois Edwardsville. But my goodness, what a show 3 of these 4 maps were. And even speaking, I would say, not to take anything away, like, LA Tech just put on a clinic as far as how do you want to play Berlin Hardpoint. And this was a map that Colonel Esports looked great on last week versus Mississippi State. So it's not to sit there and say that, you know, for Colonel Esports, they did not play well. It's just LA Tech just looked that much cleaner in those key moments.
Yeah, you know, and overall they showed that, guess what? They're the cleaner team in the group. I mean, being able to come out strong. I mean, if I'm the side of Louisiana Tech, I'm extremely happy with this outcome. Simply because if I look at the one map that we lost, we only really lost that because it was the defensive sided. Okay, so guess what? Yeah. Cool. You guys can beat us on defense. We can beat you on defense on Gavutu control. That's great. Cool. Get that win under your belt. Feel good about that. We'll go ahead and take the other 3 maps. Feel good about the whole series. I mean, Louisiana Tech, they were definitely ready for today.
Yeah, this pool too, you know, kind of looking at the initial formation of this stage 1, you know, shout outs to Heat. He did everything you could possibly ask and more to keep everything geographically as central as possible. It just, for these 4 teams that we're talking about largely, SIUE, well, I won't say just, you know, they're good. They don't care. But for Nickel State, LA Tech, Mississippi State, those are 3 teams that I truly do believe will not just make playoffs, but they potentially could make waves in playoffs. They have shown a lot of really good clinical COD. It's just this first stage, they happen to be geographically located close to one another, so only 3 of those 4 are going to get out into the top cut. Yeah. And now we know with this result that Mississippi State will be the team missing that.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see what Nicholls State, LA Tech are going to do in that top cut, depending on who they end up playing up against. Because this is one of the hardest pools, I would say, in Stage 1 across the CCL.
I mean, big time. I mean, this pool right here, definitely going to be one of the pools of death that are across all these colleges that we get to witness. And, I mean, you guys see it there, man. The first 3, oh, so close. And then it was just the Bulldogs carrying things away in that 4th map. That was Berlin. I mean, did they even call in this? I think they called in one streak at the end.
One glide bomb.
Yeah, that was it. Just insult to injury, essentially. Just saying, you know what? This is going to be the cherry on top, and we're going to be securing ourselves to advance, securing top 3 in our group. And I mean, hey, now at the end of the day, this Colonel squad and this Louisiana Tech squad, they can sit back, they can both toast to each other. They can say, hey, that was a good scrim, essentially, for what we've got coming down the road in Stage 2. Because I mean, hey, listen, both of these squads, the sky's the limit for sure.
Yeah, and you know, as much as I'll just say this, as much as they come off aggressively towards the top 25. The rankings do not matter until the end of the year anyways.
Exactly, yeah.
I'll say that much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because this Nicholls State team, you know, I really do believe that they're going to make a lot of waves, depending on what this Midwestern top cut's going to look like. I mean, I haven't gone through to look at all the top teams as of yet, but I still imagine that they're going to be in a lot of tough affairs like this, and it's going to make them that much better to go to playoffs. But for LA Tech, you know, I'll say the same thing I did about Nicholls State last week. It's time to stop sleeping on them. You got to remember that one of those losses was because they didn't play versus Drury. That is a really solid display of not just both hard points, but their search and destroy looked good. And even though they lost the control, that was one of the best looks offensively that we saw from a team yet in the CCL on a Gavudu control map. So I'm very excited about this Bulldogs team. That said, that concludes our night number 1 in week 5? Week 6? This is week 6, right? Week 6. Has to be week 6. Is it week 6?
That sounds good to me. I mean, it's the last one. We're going to go with that.
It said 5 up there, and I got confused because I could have sworn it's been 6. So that's end of night 1 for week 6. Night 2 still is tomorrow. That gives the Northeastern and Southeastern divisions a lot of prime matchups. We got Barry going up against Florida Gulf Coast. That's going to be a fun one. Amongst a number of other ones. Wisconsin plays up against Maverick Esports. Those are 2 teams on the Bravo stream that'll be squaring up from the top side of their grouping. But final thoughts from you, Rum, just on the night overall?
Hey, listen, final thoughts is that this squad, both of these squads, they gave us a great show, man. It was a pleasure casting it. Got to cast it alongside the GOAT Hold Shift himself, man. Couldn't be happier, man. It was just an absolute pleasure.
A lot of fun, but hey, we'll take a, 18-hour break. We'll be back tomorrow. Same time, same place, same CCL. We'll catch you then. Until next time, make sure you keep holding it down. So long.